The moment you find someone attractive, a calculation begins. You don't choose it, you don't control it, and you have absolutely no idea it's happening. In under 200 milliseconds, before you finished a single blink, your brain has already assessed that person's immune system, their hormone levels, their genetic fitness, and their disease history. You experience this as a feeling. Your ancestors called it instinct. Science calls it mate selection, and it was written into your brain 100,000 years ago. For 99% of human history, you didn't choose a partner from a dating app. You chose from a tribe of maybe 150 people. Everyone you would ever meet, you already knew. And in that world, where disease moved fast, where your children had to survive winters and droughts and predators, picking the right mate wasn't a preference, it was survival. So your brain built a scanner, a real-time biological readout that processes dozens of signals simultaneously and translates the entire result into one thing, a feeling. And this is where it gets strange, because every single thing you find attractive, the jaw, the voice, the way someone smells, every one of those preferences maps directly to an ancient survival signal. Everyone. In 1990, researchers at the University of Texas took photographs of real faces and mathematically averaged them together into composite images. The result surprised everyone. The composite faces, the ones that were closest to average, were rated as more attractive than almost every individual face that made them. Not because average is beautiful, because average means nothing went wrong. Every deviation from symmetry, every slight imbalance in your features, is a record of something that disrupted your development, a parasite, an infection, a genetic error. Your brain reads these deviations below the level of conscious thought. You just call it, there's something about their face. In 1995, a biologist named Klaus Wedekind ran one of the strangest experiments in the history of attraction research. He gave men plain cotton t-shirts. They wore them for 2 nights. No deodorant, no cologne. Then he gave the shirts to women and asked them to rate how attractive the smell was. Overwhelmingly, the women preferred the smell of men whose immune genes were most different from their own. Their noses were reading immune system blueprints. The logic is elegant. When 2 people with different immune gene profiles have children, the children inherit a broader immune defense. They can fight a wider range of disease. Your nose has known this for 100,000 years. But here's the part that changes everything. The women in the study who were taking the contraceptive pill showed the exact opposite preference. The pill puts the body into a simulated state of pregnancy. And in that state, the ancient system flips. Instead of seeking genetic difference, it seeks genetic similarity, people who feel like family. Which means, and researchers have confirmed this across multiple studies, women who meet their partners while on hormonal contraception sometimes find their attraction shifts when they come off it. The person you chose may have been selected by a system that was temporarily offline. Research at Penn State found that women's voices measurably shift in pitch across their monthly cycle, rising to a peak at the most fertile point. Men, without knowing anything about the cycle, consistently rated those peak fertility recordings as more attractive. And women's preference for deeper male voices is strongest during that same window. The brain dials up sensitivity to the dominant signal exactly when the reproductive stakes are highest. You're not hearing a voice, you're receiving a biological transmission. Here's the problem. This system was calibrated for a world where you met 150 people. People you knew. People you encountered in real life, where you could hear their voice, smell their skin, read their face in 3 dimensions. It was never designed for a world where you swipe through 50 strangers in 4 minutes. The scanner is running, but the data is wrong. You're processing a JPEG. You're making survival-level genetic calculations based on a photograph. And infinite options don't help. Robin Dunbar, the anthropologist who established that the human brain can track about 150 relationships, has noted that the brain has no architecture for evaluating thousands of potential mates. Endless choice doesn't improve the selection. It overwhelms the system that was only ever meant to run on 150 people. The result is a generation that struggles to commit, mistakes novelty for chemistry, and feels chronically dissatisfied, not because people are broken, but because the ancient algorithm is running in an environment it was never designed for. The most important thing to understand is this: you are not making irrational choices. You are not shallow. You are not broken. You are running a 100,000-year-old survival program in a world that was built last Tuesday. The calculation that happens in your brain before you even notice someone, It was written long before you arrived, before language, before civilization, before any idea of what a relationship was supposed to look like. It kept your ancestors alive. It's also the reason you swiped right on someone whose immune genes were wrong for you. Understanding the system doesn't turn it off, but it does change your relationship to it, and that might be the most human thing of all. Let me know in the comments what ancient systems you're curious to learn about next.